Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. If you are new, my name is Shondine. So today we are going to be doing our regular budget with me for the month of August. I know I haven't posted in a while. Honestly, I've just been going through some things, just trying to figure out a bunch of things. There were so many changes last month. Even outside of like finances, there were a lot of changes that I'm still trying to deal with. And I haven't been dealing with them very well, as you can probably tell by me not posting. But like always, my goal is to be more consistent on YouTube. So with this video, I'm really hoping that I can start doing that more because I love posting. I love doing budget videos. I wanted to do like a recap for the month of July, like how our finances went and how our budgeting went. But honestly, it was super messy and there's so many changes that I couldn't even explain it like in a good way that you would understand. So in like a really brief summary, it was really messy and we did not meet any of our goals, and I hate to admit that, but it's true. So I'm hoping that by doing these videos more often and really focusing on our goals financially, that we can stick to them and get done what we need to get done. So throughout the video, you're going to be seeing a lot of those changes that I'm talking about right now. I don't want to get too much into it in the intro, but you'll be seeing it throughout the video. So let's just get straight into it. The first thing that we are going to do is we are going to make our first page, and it is going to have our save for list and our goals list. So I finished our 3 goals for the month. So the first one is no eating out at all. We really want to maximize our grocery budget by eating at home and not spending extra money on eating out, even though we love to do that. So our second goal is to put all of our extra monies towards the save for goals. And what I mean by extra money is like if we get anything over our expected paycheck amounts, or if my boyfriend works with his side job of landscaping, we would put all the extra money from that job towards our save for goals, which is going to be next. And then the third goal is to use our transaction log. This is the one from July. We for sure switched around a lot of money and we didn't even use the entire log. So I want to make sure that I'm doing that correctly this month so we don't have any more like wrong numbers or anything like that. So after the goals, I'm going to do our save for list, which is different from the goals because it's basically the expense that we are trying to save for. And for this month, it's actually only going to be one thing. It's a laptop, which I am expecting it to be about $1,300. And the reason that I have laptop here as our save for goal rather than the leftover car maintenance that I have still to do on my car is because me and my boyfriend were going over our finances and kind of like the different goals that we have. And even though he is all for our debt-free journey, something that he is really passionate about and something that I feel like he deserves to pursue, he would need a laptop for. And so that is why this month we are basically going to turn our focus to this laptop. And then after that, we'll basically resume back to getting the rest of my car maintenance done and then moving from there. So the next little section that we have is special events, and that is like birthdays or anything unique about a month that you have to always consider when you're doing a budget. So there are 2 things for this month, for August, because this month everyone is going back to school, including my little sister. I am going to be getting some clothes for her for the school year, and because we're on a budget, I'm not going to do too much. I'm only going to put $40 aside. And then there's also a birthday this month, so I'm going to be putting that down as well. Like I said, I'm only going to be putting $40 towards my sister's school clothes. And I put down the 9th because that's when our first paycheck for the month of August is, so that's when I'll be doing that. And then also I have my cousin's birthday at the end of the month on the 29th, I believe. And like last month, I'm giving a budget of $20 for birthdays. And so those are the only 2 special events that I have to keep in mind during the budget. And so after we have the goals, the save for, and then the special events, we are going to go ahead and start listing all of the bills that we have for the month. Okay, so I finished my bills slash expenses list for the month of August, and I'll quickly go over it. So I have the list of the bills, and then the dates, and then the amounts that they each are. And then I have like this empty space because last month I was noticing that some of the bills that I had down were actually coming out on like different dates, or they were actually like $1 more or like a few dollars less. So if there's like any changes that I need to make for each one, that's what this space is for. So I can make that change. So then next month I can just have the bill, the date, and then the actual dollar amount that it's supposed to be each month. So we have gas, groceries, which we pay 4 times a month, which is weekly, and altogether comes out to $320 because it's $80 each week. And then for light, we try to put in $100 at least each month, and we get paid twice this month, so I just split it up into the 2 paychecks. And then I have the amount that I'm paying back school. I used to go to ASU, but I don't anymore, and I was on like scholarships, and I have to pay that back now. So school, I have to pay $100 a month on the 3rd, and then a loan that gets taken out twice a month for $79. And then, like I mentioned before, my sister's school stuff, I forgot that I put it right here, and so I put it into here as well. Whatever, it's fine. And then the insurance was actually supposed to be paid already, but we definitely mishandled the budget for last month, and I did some wrong math, and I had to push the date out until the 11th. So we're going to get that paid. And then our renter's insurance, Spotify, and the Netflix are also due on the 11th. And then I have my regular car payments. And then the payment for the couches. This is the absolute part that I was dreading because if you have watched my previous videos, you know that we used to pay for a bed from Aaron's. If you don't know what Aaron's is, it's like a financing company for like furniture and like electronics and things like that. And we just finished paying off a bed from Aaron's. And what we did, they were having like this promotion where they were going to waive the last payment of the bed, and they were gonna let us get something new out without a first payment. And we did that for couches. And I wouldn't have done this if it wasn't for what was happening last month, which was last month my boyfriend was actually working 2 jobs, and the paychecks from one job he was putting aside for other things. And at that time that we got the couches out, he was thinking that he was going to just put all of the paychecks from one of those jobs to pay off the couch, because we were considering like those paychecks kind of like his money and what he wanted to do with it. And that was one of the things he was planning to do, was just pay off those couches so we wouldn't have to pay each month for it. But of course our plans change, and now he's only working 1 job, and now we are paying monthly for the couches, which absolutely sucks. I mean, I'm happy we got couches, but it sucks that we made that mistake again, but it's fine. So the next thing is going to be the credit card, my monthly minimum payment of $45. Spotify again. One is for my boyfriend, and one is for me. And then we have my boyfriend's truck payment. And then moving on here, we have my boyfriend's orthodontist payment, and then his phone. And then also there's that second loan that's being taken out. And then the savings, $55. And then Wi-Fi. I don't know the exact amount of Wi-Fi, which is where I would put the updated amount right here, but typically it's around $70. Last month it was actually, I believe, $90, so it definitely could change, but that's what I'm thinking it's gonna be right now. And then the rent, my boyfriend's second dental bill, he has an orthodontist and a dental, so his dental bill and the insurance for September is going to all be due the 1st. And then I just have like some miscellaneous expenses. So I have, my boyfriend really needs a haircut, like really, really bad. And I put $30 aside for that. It's typically, I believe, less because he goes like late at night when they have like their deals. And then I have cash envelopes, which I don't want to explain too much because I want to save that for the explanation basically, but I'm gonna set aside $30 for that this month. And then the last little miscellaneous expense is emissions test for my car, which I really don't know how much it's going to be. I think it's going to be around $40. I'm hoping it'll be less. I don't know if it'll be that much, but basically, if you're watching my videos from last month, then you know that one of the car maintenance things that I had to do was get the registration for my car, and I renewed the registration online, and I saw a little note that said that the registration was not going to update in the system. I'm assuming like the system that like the police can check or whatever. It's not going to update until I do an emissions test, and I haven't received like the tags or the stickers yet for my registration, so I'm just assuming that I'm not going to be getting those until I do the emissions test. But I will definitely look into that a little bit more, and definitely how much it'll cost if I really do have to do it. But those are all of the expenses for this month. And one thing that I am going to do that I typically like to do is I am going to add little stars next to all of the bills or expenses that are set on auto pay. So I know for sure to prioritize them when I'm actually like spreading out the bills. So pretty much half of all of the bills and expenses are on auto pay. So all the ones with the stars are the ones that we kind of need to prioritize. And our next section, which is going to be actually listing out the paychecks and actually budgeting it. Okay, so I did a little setup and I'm just gonna go over it real quick. So our paychecks actually changed. Again, my boyfriend was working 2 jobs last month and now he's only working 1. It's actually the same thing for me because in my last budget with me video, I said I was going to be working a new second part-time job. But kind of after doing the math and going over the hours, it didn't really make sense to start a part-time job when I could just do overtime at my current full-time job and get paid more doing that instead of going to a whole second job and doing only like a few hours. So I decided not to go with the job that I was going to be doing, and instead I've just been doing overtime at my full-time job. So that leads us to only getting paid twice a month. From both of our jobs, we get paid on the same day, and so that leaves only 2 paychecks for the month. So on the 9th and then on the 23rd, and I broke it down like this. So I have the estimated income and then the actual income that we get. So for this paycheck, I'm estimating that we are going to be getting about $2,120. And where I came up with that number is with the few overtime hours that I'm doing, I expect to get paid about $1,220. I already did the math. And then my boyfriend's paycheck, I'm expecting at least $900. So when you add those together, you get $2,120. And then for the 23rd, I am actually expecting about $200 more from this one because I will be doing a lot more overtime for this paycheck. And we are expecting to get paid at least $2,320. And again, I am expecting my paycheck to come out to at least $1,420 with a full 20 hours of overtime at my full-time job, and then my boyfriend's $900 from his full-time job. And so I have here 3 sections. So I have this section, which is just going to be listing off the bill or the expense. And then this section is going to be the amount that we're planning to put aside or, budget for in this paycheck. But as you can tell by watching my previous videos, there are a lot of changes that we constantly do. So that is what this column is going to be. So this is going to be the amount that we want to budget for, and this is going to be the amount that we actually budgeted. And so I have this, and then this for this, and then this section, and then the remaining section for this paycheck. Okay, so the way that I like to budget is, I've heard it's actually like pretty different, and I definitely agree, because I like to budget my whole month at once. I don't like to do the paycheck by paycheck, kind of like budgeting as you go. I like to know exactly how it's gonna look and how this month is gonna go. So the first thing that I am going to put down for the budget is the gas and groceries and the lights, because those are the most important things I feel like to make sure that we have in the budget. So since it is the 6th of August, we already have the gas and groceries set up for this week. So we need to think about the remaining 3 weeks here, and then also the first week of September, because our first paycheck of September isn't until, it looks like, the 6th or something right here. So we need to make sure that that week is covered as well. So we have 4 weeks left. And so for the paycheck on the 9th, we are going to put aside 2 weeks worth of gas and groceries to cover the 11th and the 17th and the 18th through the 24th. And then we're going to put these same exact amounts from the paycheck on the 23rd, so it can cover this month and then the first week of September. So gas for each week is $80, so it's going to be, for 2 weeks, it's going to be $160. And then the same exact thing for the groceries. Okay, and then I'm also just going to put it here as well. Okay, so then after the gas and groceries, we are going to take care of the lights, and we are just going to split it into $50 for each paycheck. Now that we have some numbers right here, we are going to start subtracting the expenses from the income. So we have $2,120, subtract $160 for gas, minus $160 for groceries, minus $50 for the light. The school, it needs to be paid, which is $100, so we'll put that here. $100, so we'll subtract that. And then we need to take care of the loan. We are just going to put loan. And because it's set up on auto pay for the 6th and, where did it go? And the 21st, and we don't get paid till the 23rd, I'm going to need to put both amounts down. So 79, just get cheat sheet paper, times 2, 18, 158. I'm going to put a total of $158 down. Okay, subtract 158. And then next, we are going to take care of my sister's school stuff. And that is $40. So we're going to subtract that. Okay. And then we definitely need to take care of the insurance and renter's insurance, Spotify, and Netflix. I'm going to put all of those down. So for Spotify, the same thing as the loan, because it's taken out on the 11th and the 16th, I'm going to put the amount of $22 because they're each $11. Netflix is $19. So we're going to subtract those new numbers from here. Oops. 1452 minus 416 minus 19 minus 22 minus 19, which leaves 976 still. So we'll continue to go down the list. Some more things that we want to take care of include some more auto payments that we want to take care of, including the orthodontist and my boyfriend's phone. So we're going to put those down right now. Then we'll subtract those two new numbers from 976 and then 139. So left over we have $687. So we'll continue on down the list. So we did all of these. So we need to do the car for $383, the couches, which is next, and then also the credit card. I'm sure we'll have enough for all of those. So 244 minus 158 minus 45. So it looks like here we have $40 left. Let's see, I'm not sure if that's making sense. Let me double check. Because I have a cheat sheet here and it's not making sense. So give me one moment. Yeah, see, it wasn't making sense. I wasn't doing my math right. Hopefully somewhere one of you guys caught it. But we actually have $101 left. And I think what we are going to take care of, we went all the way down to Spotify right here. What we are going to take care of are these things right here because my boyfriend really needs the haircuts. I really would like to get the cash envelopes as soon as possible. That will be explained later in another video. And then emissions test, I feel like I should get done as soon as possible. So I'm going to put all those three down, which basically equals up to the $100. Perfect. So that is everything that we are going to budget for the first paycheck. And now we are going to move on to the second and last paycheck of the month. Okay, so we are going to start by subtracting these amounts, these expenses amounts we have so far from the income we expect. So $2,320 minus $160 for gas, minus $160 for groceries, minus $50 for the light. So we have $19.50 left. Let's look at what else we need to finish paying. So it looks like we are going to start with the truck, and that gets $438. I'm going to subtract that. Okay, and then one thing I don't want to forget is the special events, which is my cousin's birthday. We want to make sure we don't forget that. I feel like I'm going to have a really hard time sticking with the $20 budget just because I feel really bad because literally like the bag and like a card and like the little tissues like is literally like almost like $5 to $10, and then it's like you only have like $10 to spend on a gift, and I feel really bad about that. And honestly, every time I try to budget $20, I honestly go over it, so we'll see how that works out. But anyway, so we have the truck, the orthodontist, phone, loan taken care of. So everything from right here we need to put down. So savings, Wi-Fi, rent, dental insurance. And we finished this page, so we're going to move on to the next page. And I don't remember if we subtracted the $20 from the budget already. So we're just going to have to redo it all over. And that completes all of the bills for the month. So now I'm going to subtract all of the expenses from the income to make sure that we are still within the income, within the amount. Just $289 that we have left over. And what we are going to do with that $289 is we are going to put it towards our safe goal, which is the laptop. So it like times like this, it kind of just like makes me feel like defeated and like we're not doing enough because what we have left over, $289, is really small compared to what we need to have, which is $1,300. But as long as we stick to our budget, which we really need to work on actually, I feel like we will definitely have this amount. And then when my boyfriend does like extra work or we get paid extra, we'll definitely put it aside. I'm definitely hoping we can put away a lot more than $289 at the end of this month. But anyways, that's it. We budgeted all of our bills for this month. And the very last thing that we are going to be doing is making a transaction log, just like we did for the month of July. Just so that if there's any like switching around money in the envelopes or anything like that, we need to track it and make sure that everything gets put exactly where it needs to go. So I did finish making the transaction log, and I will explain it. So I have a column here that says what happened, and then the second column what needs to happen, and then the last column where it has a check mark or either an X is gonna go. So basically the first column, so let's say for example, more light needs to be put in between the times of the paychecks. So let's say that I take some money from the orthodontist envelope to put in light. So I would put here what happened, took money from orthodontist envelope and put it for light. What needs to happen, amount from light from next paycheck will go to the orthodontist. And then whether it actually happens or not, I will either check mark it or put an X. And this is just a way for me to keep track of, like, sometimes I need to transfer money from the envelopes, and sometimes honestly I lose track, and so this will help me more hopefully with keeping track of that. So now we have everything finished. I'm just gonna briefly go through it. So this is for July. I don't really pay attention to that. So we have our goals for the month, our save for goal, and then the special events. And then we have all of our bills and expenses listed out here. And then we have the actual paychecks budgeted out with the expenses. And then we have the transaction log. So that's pretty much it for this budget with me for August video. So that was it for the budgeting video. Thank you so much for watching. Those are the couches, by the way. The couches that we just could not wait to get. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for staying here and continuing to support me. And I can't wait to share with you guys some things coming up. I can't wait for that. But I will definitely be posting the cash envelope stuffing videos for this month, and some additional different types of videos. So I definitely look forward to that. I hope you are as well. So I will see you in the next video.